Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3, and once again, the Emirates is our dance floor. And like a good person I am, dessert is on me tonight. It's Arsenal crumble all round. It surely can't happen again for him, can it? 4 years in a row. Enough of Arsenal though, but any Amorim doubters, you can silently use that exit door and never mention his name again. Amorim had back-to-back wins once in 14 months. Carrick has just went and completed what Amorim done in 10 days against the two best teams in the league. Now, going on to the game, apart from the first 25 minutes, I generally think we was actually probably the better team across the game. I get we wasn't always on the attack. But when we had the ball, we actually looked like we could create chances. We could do something with the ball. However, Arsenal didn't really look like that. And to be fair, it's not like it's just because of how we played. Arsenal looked like that for weeks, where they're struggling, they're running out of ideas. Look at Arsenal against Forest. Look at them against Liverpool. And to be fair, Carrick as well, we've done the same thing today. We made Arsenal look average. But it was just a shame how they got that first goal. It was a ball whipped in back post. Dorgu, who had a great game, obviously, just unfortunately didn't really header it up and out. Just fell to Saka, then dinked it to Odegaard. Odegaard's then had a shot, and it's just, yeah, Martinez has got to adjust his feet better to stop that going in, but 1-0 down. But to be fair, that sparked us into life. We didn't have the counter-attack. And Mbeumo, I'm thinking, just hit it on your left foot. He cuts it back to Fernandez, where he's got to slice across it to really work Raya. It was never really going to happen, but we get a bit of luck. Zubi do. He was obviously looking for someone and not his Arsenal teammate because he's given it to Mbeumo, and he was so composed. Ran the keeper, slots it in the back of the net, 1-1. And to be fair, I think 1-1 at half-time, we was deserving of that. Second half comes in, and any doubts about Dorgu, you can be thrown out the window as well. I didn't really doubt him too much. He's a young player that come from Serie A, was thrown in at wing back, left side, right side. One minute he was then playing right wing for us, then left wing. But these last few weeks, since Amorim's kind of left, and obviously since that Newcastle game, to be fair, we've really started seeing the best of Dorgu. Confident, just gets at his man. When he's playing on the left, he just shifts it, crosses it. But he's good on the ball as well, Dorgu. His athleticism. When you see the ball going up to him from goal kicks, you see him, he gets up and wins headers. And in the goal today, Rice and Zubamendi were chasing shadows, 1-2, 1-2, comes back to Dorgu, he just puts it in front of him, and that volley, that half volley, should I say, unbelievable, barring in. Against David Raya, who's probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. What a goal. Again, I get it, he's not an out-and-out winger. He doesn't have the quality of someone like Cunha, but he really helps with this team. You know, if Luke Shaw goes forward, he can then come back in at left back because that's kind of his position anyways. I'm not sure if he's a left back or a left winger, but he can do a bit of both. And I think he's going to grow and become an even better player for us. And then it's 2-1. You're thinking, can we hold on? Can we hold on? Again, Carrick waited for the substitutions. And to be fair, when he brought on Sesko, I was a little bit, you know, we normally are a little bit pragmatic, aren't we? Normally, I was just thinking, bring on Mount. We'll see out a 2-1 win. Obviously, Arsenal scumbagged themselves another goal from a corner. Sometimes you have to respect it with the amount of goals they score from corners. But do you know what? Fair play. He brung on Sesko. He put Cunha out on the left, and it got us the win. It got us the win. And that's the type of bravery that you need to be a Manchester United manager. Away at a big top team, you know what? I'm not going to settle for a 2-1 win. Let's go and try and get the third, and then we'll see it out. So, fair play. And that goal from Cunha, unbelievable. Couldn't you believe it? Because I couldn't. But again, this was something that Amorim was scared of. He was scared of playing our footballers. Look what happens when that ball gets into their half. Mainu, Bruno and Cunha all linking up. All linking up. Nothing to do with... We do need a bit more athleticism in the team. Of course we do. But you also need players that can play football. Look at Mainu today getting on the ball. But back to Cunha's goal. Oh, unbelievable. The Emirates was shocked. Could hear a pin drop apart from the set of United fans in the corner. And you know what? It was deserved. The way we played, what we actually done when we had the ball. I said it all loads of times about when we had Amorim as the coach. There was no purpose of when we passed the ball. There was no enthusiasm. There was just no spark in the team. But, you know, when we get into certain areas, you know Bruno's going to do something. And Mbeumo, Ahmad. And today we see it from Cunha. And it won us the game. And yeah, honestly, I couldn't be happier today with the performance. And like I said, a massive, massive win in the top four. 1 game a week from now to the end of the season. We're going to see how good Carrick really is now because we've got Fulham coming up. We've got a lot of the lower league teams coming up. Then they're the ones that are going to test us. Against Arsenal and City, you are going to get a bit more space. So our better players. But like I said, we're going to see how good our better players now are against lower opposition. But quick rundown of the team. Lamens, again, he's so unfortunate. Both goals, maybe the corner he's come out and tried to flap it and he's got barged out the way. It's a difficult one, but overall, Lamens was very, very good today. Solid on crosses. And again, his handling skills are good. You know, unfortunately, we've had so many bad goalkeepers the last few years that we forgot what a good goalkeeper looks like. But Lamens does definitely look like one. The back four, Maguire and Martinez were solid for the majority of it. Martinez, solid. Proving his critics wrong. Just at times, he's just stupid. He had that situation with Gabriel Jesus where he's just thrown an arm at him. And I'm thinking, why? But why? Like, even he had Saka down in their end of the pitch. And you're thinking, just keep him there. Just keep him there. Run the clock down. No, he just steams through him. But listen, he was solid today. Maguire, they're both done really well. In terms of like defending the whole game, they were good. It was just, again, like I said, the goals we conceded were, we give goals away. Like I said, no one really opened us up. It wasn't like someone got turned or a great bit of skill and beaten or a long range effort. You look at the goals conceded today, they wasn't very good. Typical Arsenal corner scumbag goal. Fair enough, you've got to respect it. And then obviously, like I said, the first one, Dorgu's just not really given a clean enough header, and then Martinez again doesn't adjust his feet quick enough. So I thought Luke Shaw, Dalot done enough. Again, gave away some silly fouls in areas where you're thinking, don't give Arsenal set pieces. That's what they want. But to be fair, we dealt with them for the majority of the game. I don't think Arsenal really troubled us with them. Now, if we go on to our midfield three, the man that couldn't get in the team. He couldn't get in the team. He wanted to leave. And thank you for not leaving and the club not letting him leave. Kobbie Mainoo. Again, he didn't have his best game today, but look at how he gets on the ball. He's brave. He'll take the ball in any position and rarely ever gives the ball away. You can play them nice intricate passes, little 1-2 in tight spaces. He'll take the ball with a man on his shoulder and he'll just move it. That's all you need sometimes. Again, this is why I think Amorim's system failed, because we didn't have enough footballers in the team that could play football and move the ball from A to B. Whereas with Mainoo, Bruno, Casemiro, obviously got Mbeumo, Ahmad, we've got more and better footballers on the pitch all linking up together. And this is why we're seeing the ball move from one end of the pitch to the other in a much quicker way. And Casemiro, again, just doing what he needs to do, winning the ball back, keeping it simple. Like I said, at times, again, we kept the ball. We quieted the Emirates down. We just done what we needed to do. Bruno, again, I didn't think he had his best game, but when it mattered on the ball, he done well. First 20, 25 minutes, Saliba was just going right up against him. He was, I'm not going to lie, Saliba was pocketing him for the first 20, 25 minutes. But then Bruno finally realised it. He was like, I either need to run him behind to take him away and leave the space there for someone else, or I need to come out wide because Saliba's not going to follow him out wide. And it worked. In the end, Bruno started either coming deeper or he was coming out wide. And obviously Saliba's not going to track him. And then at times we was just overloading them in certain areas and moving the ball up the pitch. So like I say, not Bruno Fernandes's best game today, but after that first 20, 25 minutes, he realised what he needed to do and he changed. Again, that could be down to Carrick. Obviously, you don't always see what's on the sidelines, but again, adapting. We're adapting against what teams are doing to us. We're changing our ways to try and win games. And then our front three. Ahmad, again, I think he had a quiet game, but again, fair play to him. He was good defensively. Rarely ever see the fullback run beyond him. Soon as he see that Dalot needed help, he would get back and help and try and double up. You know, there's only so much you can do as a winger. Dorgu, unbelievable today. Again, like I say, if Luke Shaw goes forward, it's always good because he can slot in at left back. And then obviously Dorgu's goal was unbelievable. Like I said, that intricate play with Bruno. The volley, what a goal. What a goal. It's again, it will go down in Arsenal United history of one of the best goals we've seen in recent times. Fair play to him. Like I said, he's really, really come on these last few weeks. Starting to see the best of him. So he could be the next Bale. Who knows? And then, of course, Mbeumo obviously needs some credit as well. Very composed finish. It was difficult for him at times, but we're starting to see the best of Mbeumo now. You know, he's not playing in a 10 position because it's not his position. That's not his best position. You either put him out on the right or you put him up front. We see him up front. There's at times where, again, we as a team, the first 20, 25 minutes, we didn't start well. But once we grew into the game and the ball's going to Mbeumo and he's just, like I said, laying it off, spinning in behind. And then again, he's linking up. You know, he looks good. And again, I say it every time, there's still more to come from him. You know, he scored in some massive games for us as well. Away at Liverpool, away at Arsenal, at home to City. And he's missed quite a few games for us as well. So I can't wait to see the best of Mbeumo. Like I said, there's still more to come. And then again, obviously, I know we didn't really make that many subs, but we have to shout out Cunha. What a goal. Won us the game. And again, like I've always said it, he's a very good player, but we just need to see more goals and assists from him because he has the quality. And today we see that quality. He's so good in them moments where we need someone to take the pressure off of us. Picks up the ball, draws people in, wins fouls, and that was massively needed once he scored his goal as well. I think he won about 3 or 4 fouls after he scored his goal. So again, just running that clock down. He will be a good signing. Don't get me wrong, there's times as well, like Bruno, he is frustrating. When he sees goal, he doesn't see anyone else. And to be fair to him, today, I'm glad he did see the goal because it won us the game. But as for us going forward, we have Fulham at home next week. Stupid as this sounds, this will probably be the real test because, like I say, you are going to get a bit of joy against the bigger teams because they do put men forward. But when we're going to be playing against Fulham now next week, where they're going to sit behind the ball, we're going to see, can we break these teams that sit behind the ball? Can we do it? Against Man City, they do put men forward, so you can counter-attack them. Same with Arsenal. There is going to be chances to get them on the counter. Again, let's see what happens next week when we play against the team. They're going to sit everyone behind the ball. They're going to waste time. They're going to do everything they can to get a point or beat us, of course. Yeah, let's see what happens when we're the ones in possession of the ball, 60, 70%. Let's see how that goes because that's going to be the real test. Much as these last 2 games have obviously been a test, this one coming up is going to be an even bigger one. But on to next week. Fulham at home, 2 o'clock kickoff. Can it be free from free?